Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Margarita and today I'm here to talk to you about the books that I've recently finished. So I'm just gonna get right into it. These books are in order of books that I liked the least to the books that I liked the most. And here we go. The first book that I'm going to talk about is The Shadow Queen by C.J. Redwine. This is a Snow White retelling. And I was really enjoying it when I picked this up. I want to say it was for Booktubeathon. I can't remember. There was a readathon that I picked this book up for. And then once the readathon was over, there were a couple other books that I really wanted to read. So I put this down, and when I picked it back up, I just wasn't as into the story as I was in the past. So maybe that has something to do with it. I gave this book 2 out of 5 stars. I thought that the ending was like, meh, I don't know. It wasn't really for me. But all of the other books are 4 and 5 stars, so let's just talk about those. The next book that I have is, hold on, I'm shuffling them, is Behind Her Eyes by Sarah Pinborough. This is a thriller, like a psychological thriller type thing, and it is about these 3 people. 2 of them are married. God, what are their names? David, Adele, and Louise. Okay, so David and Adele are married, and they are in a very unhappy marriage. And then Louise kind of comes in, and she doesn't know that David is married, and they kind of start this thing off. Lo and behold, David and Louise work for each other. He is her new boss, and Adele is like, there's something wrong with Adele. You don't really know what it is, but it's this dynamic between these 3 people, because Adele then ends up befriending Louise. So Louise has these 2 completely separate relationships with both people in this marriage. It's really weird. The plot twist at the end, I could not have foreseen that if there was no way I could have foreseen that. So that is really why I gave this such a high rating. I gave this 4 out of 5 stars, but looking back, it's probably more of like a 3.5, 3-star read. There were parts of it that I didn't like. There were like some supernatural-ish elements to it that at first I was like, this is stupid. I don't like this whatsoever. But then you understand why it's in there. I still could have done without it, but of course then the plot twist wouldn't have been able to happen. So it's just, it's good, but I don't think it's as good as I thought it was when I read. Like, as soon as I finished the book, I was like, wow, this is the best thing I've ever read. Looking back on it now, not so much, but it is a really good book, and I highly recommend that you go check it out for that plot twist at the end. I want to know if anyone saw that coming, because it just blindsided me. The next book that I'm going to talk about is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. This follows our main character, Strange. No, that's his last name. Laszlo Strange. And he's not a historian. What is he? A junior librarian in this city, and he has always loved the city of Weep because it was something when he was younger. This old brother, I guess, told him all these wonderful stories, and one day he forgets the name of Weep. Everyone forgets the name of Weep, and they start to call it Weep. And one day he gets to live his dream, and he actually goes to Weep when an envoy comes, because the city of Weep has this major problem and they need outside help to get things taken care of. So it was really good. I really enjoyed it. People say, this is such an unpopular opinion, please don't attack me. People say that Laini Taylor's writing is absolutely stunning, and I thought it was good, but I did not think that it was like the most beautiful writing I've ever read. So that kind of made me a little bit disappointed. I was expecting a lot more. The ending, I'm very interested to see how the second book goes and how all of this wraps up. I have to admit, she's very good at writing years and years of hatred that people just can't get over. And she's very good at, you can see it from both sides, and I really enjoyed that. I thought it was really fleshed out, as opposed to one side being the villains and the other side being the good guys. You can see it from both perspectives, how they're both evil in the other person's eyes, and how they're both bad, and how they're both good. Very good. I enjoyed that dynamic of the story. So definitely excited to pick up the next book. The next book that I have to talk about is I'm Afraid of Men by Vivek Shraya. This I gave 4 out of 5 stars to. I don't know if I said I gave 4 out of 5 stars to Strange the Dreamer also. This is basically the story of Vivek Shraya. She is a transgender woman, and it talks about how when she was younger she grew up as a man and how she had to be a man, and she only recently came out as transgender, and how in both aspects, as a man and as a woman, she has learned to be afraid of men because of our culture and stuff like that. And it's very, very interesting. I really, really enjoyed it. I can't wait for whoever wants to borrow this from me to read it and give it back so I can go through and like annotate it and underline stuff, because I really, really enjoyed this. Definitely recommend it. The next book that I have to talk about is The Queen of the Tearling by Erica Johansson. This book everybody loves, and I don't know why it took me so long to read this book. I read like 70% of it as an audiobook, and then that got returned to the library, so I had to read the rest of it physically, which is not a problem. This is just such a good book. It basically follows our main character. Her name's Kelsey, right? Yeah, Kelsey Raleigh. And she is the queen of the Tearling, and she has been in hiding until she could come of age, because the people in the other kingdom, everybody wants her dead for some reason, and the queen in the other kingdom wants her dead because they don't want her to assume the throne. Her uncle wants her dead. Everybody wants this girl dead. So she is brought out of hiding. Is it on her 18th birthday, I think? And she comes to the Tearling to be queen, and it's about that. There's all kinds of political intrigue. There's all kinds of drama. It's so good. I cannot wait to finish the rest of the series next year. This book, I highly recommend. I feel like I'm one of the last people in the world who hasn't read it, but if you also have not read it, please pick it up. It is so good. I highly, highly, highly recommend this. 5 out of 5 stars. And the last book that I have to talk about is Not That Bad. Dispatches from Rape Culture, and this is edited by Roxane Gay. 5 out of 5 stars. I loved this book. It is such an important book. I feel like everybody should be reading this. Everybody should be talking about this book. It is so good. It's hard to read, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, the first couple stories had me sobbing. This is so important. It talks about, you know, all these different people and their experience with rape culture in our society, whether that's actual rape, sexual assault, how you love someone who's been sexually assaulted, any kind of dynamic. And it's not just from the perspective of women. It's very broad, and it's so good, and it's so important, and I just feel so passionately about this, and I 5 out of 5. I really think that people should be reading this and talking about it, and this is something that needs to change in our culture. So that's it. Those are all of the books that I have to talk about today. I will see you guys next time. Bye!